Hello, I'm very, very sorry we're
Hi.
late. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize time was clicking along. I'm glad you guys stayed with us.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Oh, it's very good to see you, Mary. And SR's here too.
Hi,
And
SR, Rose.
Rose is here. Whoops. Okay. Something's wrong with my camera. Okay.
There you go.
I don't know what happened to my virtual background. Now you know what's wrong. Oh, gosh. All right. We're back on the road. I guess it's not going to happen. Well, you get an interesting picture in me. So I don't know what's going on with my camera. I'm sure I'm going to blame it on Saturn.
You can blame it on Saturn for sure. Saturn is always guilty. That's for sure.
I am going to show everyone my earrings so I can bring them back. Hold on. I'm going to make myself big. Oh, wait. Okay. Sorry for the green screen. Look at my earrings. They're cat eyes. A friend of mine made them. Okay. So there you are. Now that everybody is jealous of me. Timeline issues. That's right, Kim B. But of course we're here. Look at you. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. So without further ado, I do have some questions. I have one question started. It's a political question, which I dig. And so write your questions in capital letters, please. And at the first part, of course, we've got Lalit's report. And are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome.
And I am very ready. While I'm doing my thing, you could be fixing your camera.
Yeah, or else
and I do have one little question for you that I'll say in a minute.
In a minute?
It's regarding that handout that I had sent you.
Yes.
I had a thought because I'm going to be talking about that. And I thought as an idea, but this is for your approval. If you would like, people could just zip me an email. They want the handout, say handout request, and I'll send it to them while you're doing the readings. How do you think about that?
That's great.
That now, like an idea?
Is something on that handout that I could just show?
I'm going to show it.
Oh, you're going to show it. Okay.
I'm going to show it. So if you would rather me not do the emails and
no, you do you. This is
that would be up to you, because if you want me to collaborate on readings, I'm happy to do that too, or I could zip over the thing. Which do you prefer?
You know what? You do you. This is your show.
Oh, okay. Well, this is actually your channel, so you can decide. But all right, this is a Libra thing. This is how Libra situations go. We're trying to find equilibrium here.
Okay. I'm looking at all these. All right, have fun.
Okay, we'll see you in a second. Hi, everybody. It's so great to see all of you. And I want to get the good news is that I've done everybody's chart. There's one person who's known and on screen as the Pure Warrior. And I couldn't do yours because you sent me the time and the place and the year, but not the day. So Pure Warrior, if you're here, send me over the date of your birth and I will fix that for you right away. And I did send a new one to another person here who asked for a chart for their daughter, and only one person asked for their daughter. So if that was you, I am going to, in a very general way, without revealing anything about who or what or when that's personal, I'm going to generally speak about that chart as an example of something I would like you all to give some thought to. We were talking about the Libra eclipse, right? And we were talking about the energies. And I thought this would be a really good place to show how the energies can be manifest in in different ways. Here's what I mean. This chart this is what I was discussing with Debra. I'd like to send this to each of you, because it's such a beautiful way of talking about this issue of how when you get a challenging situation like a Libra eclipse, what's the best way to approach it? So let's look down on this chart to where it says Libra. It's highlighted in yellow. And the principle, that is the archetypal principle of this sign, is equilibrium. It's a one-word description that clearly gives you the idea of Libra. And in fact, if you think of this, the sign of Libra has a balance, the old gold scale thing. And the statue of Lady Justice holding the scales is an image for Libra. So it is relating to justice as well, because that's its nature. But if you could simplify these things into one word, that gives you a little key into which you can then digress into the more subtleties and various ways it can be manifest. But this really gives you a clear insight into the energy of Libra. So the principle is equilibrium. Now the next row is quality. The quality of Libra energy is harmony. This is why I was joking with Debra, and I were going back and forth. No, you decide. No, you decide. We want to have harmony. So Libra, it is in search of balance. You're searching for harmony in the study of music. You learn how the vibrations match up in a harmonious way. The positive of expression is the next row, diplomacy. And the negative expression is opportunism. Now, I was thinking about that one, and I was thinking, well, an example of that might be what we had in the debate, which the vice presidential debate a few days ago. We had it right on the day of the eclipse. Well, and the eclipse was really manifesting. So the last question was a big one. Did Trump win the election in 2020? And J.D. Vance, was just skirting around the issue, to being opportunistic, choosing not to answer. And so that's an example of opportunism, how you might do it in a Libra situation where you're searching for balance and harmony, and you skirt that issue and you're being opportunistic. In that debate, another characteristic was the search for harmony. People commented, I think above all, that at least the one good thing you could say about that debate was that everybody was treating each other, the two people in the debate were treating each other with respect and courtesy. There was no yelling, no calling of names, no disparagement. And in fact, each person said to the other, I agree with you on this. I agree with you on this. We didn't hear any of that in the other, never once. I agree with, there was no agreement, no mutual ground at all. In this one, it was was a very much a Libra character debate. So I want you to use this chart to study your own horoscope, and I'm going to show you how to do that with the chart that I'm sending everyone, in the free chart that I'm sending you. And I'm going to use as example of the person that we were saying. This is a person, and there's nothing personal shown in this here, but it's the daughter of the person that asks. So you will see that there's, this is the second row. On the top of the chart that I give you, there's listings. The first row has all the planetary positions, and I've enlarged it so you're not seeing that because it's enlarged. But this is at the top in the little ebook that I sent you, chapter 1, how you approach life and how you appear to others. This is the first house in your chart, the ascendant. Most of you know what your ascendant is. If you don't know, send me the email. I'll put the sign up in a second on how to do it, and I'll send it off to you. And this little report that I give you starts with the evaluation of your ascendant, because the ascendant is the lens through how you view life, how you approach life, and how you appear to others. The ascendant. If you look at the top of this row, it says here, ascendant. I'm going to clicking on it. Ascendant, ASC. In this person's chart is 3 degrees of Libra. That's why I'm using this as an example, because we're talking about the Libra eclipse. So this person's daughter just experienced the eclipse in the first house. So I want each of you to look at your chart and see where you have Libra and how would it be affecting you. And I sent you, along with your chart, a little list of the houses. So you would say, oh, first house, Libra, house of self, the field of action and personal initiative, the personality, character type, outlook on life, the lens through which the rest of the chart is focused, your physique, your physical body, early childhood, destiny in the making. So this person's daughter had the eclipse right there. And at 14 years old, she's also experiencing her half Saturn return. So you can say this person is experiencing a birth of self, especially in how it's expressing to other people. And it's kind of a crisis of self. She has Saturn in that place, so it's structure. She's needing structure, needing discipline, and really struggling and feeling a lot of pressure in this area. So this is how you would analyze your chart. Look where Libra is and see what house it's in. And it's clearly written on the little explanation that I give you with your chart. It's listed up at the top. So the first one is the ascendant. The ascendant, 3 degrees of Libra, is going to always be opposite the descendant. So it would be 3 degrees on the other side is the opposite sign. Libra is opposite Aries. So if you have there, it's like a seesaw. So if this is ascendant is 3 degrees Libra, then the other is Aries, and it's always a pair, and they will always be the same degree on the other side, because you're 180 degrees away. So you can look through your chart and see, where does Libra hit? In this example of this person that we were talking about, you see what we talked about, Libra, that's the first thing that's listed here. And the second thing after ascendant is MC, that's the midheaven. That's the second most important part of your chart. It's right at the top, the noon point. And that is going to be in your chart. Like, here's the chart of today. The midheaven is right up at the very apex, the highest point, where noon point would be, where the sun would be at noon. So you mark your chart going around and see, you'll know where every sign is located. Now, let me look at at your chat and see if we're getting any questions on that. Does that make sense to everyone? How you're going to start? You can at least start with your ascendant and check that out. Let's see. How are we doing?
Mary Thornberry has a question.
Yes, ascendant is rising sign. Ascendant means coming up. It's where the sun would rise. The ascendant is the cardinal point. If you look at the horizon where you're born and you look out the window, you see the place where the sun would rise. That is what your ascendant physically is. It's the place that the sun would rise in the morning. And you just kind of shoot a line out into the sky, and where it intersects the zodiac, which is going around the earth, wherever it hits it, that is your rising sign. And that is a predominant feature in your chart. So important. So what you want to do is find this, your ascendant on your chart and look at this little list that I will send everybody. I sent it out today to the person who asked for it for their daughter, and I'm going to send it from now on to everybody, and anybody who wants it can, and it goes through all the signs and all of the principles, positive and negative expression, the basic principle and the basic quality. So whoever wants one today, right now, I'll send it to you right now. If you just say in the subject area, handout request, or request is enough, or request handout, that's it. And I'll just reply to it with that little chart. Send it. I can send it out to you right now when Deborah's doing answering your questions, so everybody can get one. Look up your ascendant first, and then find where Libra is on your chart, because that's where you're feeling a lot of the in the eclipse season. You have I see you're not seeing my face, and that's funny because on my thing it is. Okay, there. In eclipse season, when you're having the big eclipse, it's like the endings and beginnings, and it's a very big point of rebirth and focusing of your energy, and where you need to be really cleaning a house get rid of the old and bring in the new. So you need to see where Libra is in your chart, and then you can decide what is the area you should be really focusing on. Wherever Libra is, you can say, oh, it's in the second house. I need to be focusing on my financial area, reevaluating my financial situation. If you see it in the seventh house, it would be the house of partnerships, the field of relationships, social consciousness, cooperation, lack thereof, peace and war, marriage and divorce, duos and duos, so forth. Open enemies, business partners, any kind of important partnerships. So see where Libra is in your own chart, and make an honest evaluation of how things are going, and take a step back and see how you can improve the situation. Does this make sense to everybody? Any questions? Did I explain that okay?
We don't have anybody
Any questions?
falling over.
Nobody's falling over. Okay,
But
so
I do have some
I'll send you that. Here I am. Send me the request, and I'll ship it over to you right now, so you can start playing with that.
So here's
to really studying astrology. The best way to understand it is by evaluating your situation at a time like this, where we know Libra's in the forefront. How is it manifesting in your chart? If you have Saturn there, like that little girl has, this is responsibility, maturing, really feeling a lot of maybe depression about things and being overwhelmed. If you have Uranus, you're going through a big dramatic change. Wow, things are falling apart and you're restarting from scratch.
We have Amanda here says, I have a Libra moon, and she had a buoyant I love that.
I'm on a teeter-totter. Exactly. This is exactly the feeling. You feel like you're on a teeter-totter, and in Libra, you're looking for the equilibrium of the teeter-totter. And with the moon, it's your emotional. So it's your emotions and your search for harmony in your relationships, in your partnerships, and in creative things too. If you're an artist, that's it. Libra, yeah. I'm Libra too, and it's very much reevaluating all of your creative pursuits and your relationships. Very much so.
So we've got Marby with a birthday coming up. Whoop whoop!
Happy birthday, Marby!
Yes, October 9th. It's going to be a big day because we're all going to send good vibes.
So the other chart I've sent along with your horoscope is this one, which is really called rulerships, and everybody gets this with their chart. And this shows the wheel. If you had Aries rising, it would look like this. But the first chart the first house is always self. The second house is always what you value and your abundance. The third house is always communication and so forth, regardless of what sign you have there. But this is the rulerships of the houses. So it's always, this is very useful when you want to figure out what all of your houses are. So you go back and forth with these little handouts that I sent you to analyze your situation. You want to see what house you have Libra in, though. Here's today's chart. And the ascendant in this particular case, at this moment in time, is Pisces. It's not for, it happens to be this moment of time if you're in Nebraska. So, but I'm just showing it to you generally. You look to the left horizon, and that is your ascendant. The right horizon is the opposite thing to it. Opposite Pisces is always Virgo. Opposite Aries is always Libra. Opposite Taurus is always Scorpio. It's a seesaw. So analyze your own chart with that in mind, and these little keywords can give you a lot of insight into how astrology works for you. Question.
My Venus is in Libra. Is this where I look?
Yes. So what house is it in? That's what you want to know. So Venus is in Libra, so that's added information. Venus in Libra, and Venus rules Libra. So Venus is the ruler of Libra. If you look at the rulership thing, yeah. So Venus, here's the sign of Libra, and it says partnerships. And oops, you don't see it, do you? I clicked on it. I have to double click slowly. There it is. Venus rules Libra, and it rules the seventh house naturally. But in your own personal chart, it could be anywhere. I have Libra in the 11th house of friendships and social things. So that you have to know what house it is to find out the area of life that is most
important. The house. She just posted the house. It's the fifth house.
Okay, fifth house. The fifth house is very interesting because that is the house of creativity, and Venus is very happy there because it's creativity and love, and that is what the fifth house is. Personal self-expression, and it rules your children, not only your physical offspring, but your creative offspring, such as Debra, your books, your tarot deck, your artistic creations, love affairs, games, amusement, recreations, brain children, hobbies, talents, pleasures. So you might have, if you have a Libra fifth house, there might be some changes with your children or with your artistic creations and the way that you are projecting your creativity into the world generally. And that is where you want to evaluate your situation and see what you can do to build that in a better way for yourself. Did that make sense to everybody? So this is how you'll look at it. See, what house do you have, Libra? And then look at the meaning of that house. And that's this eclipse energy will affect you most in that area. What if there are no planets in Libra? That doesn't mean that it's not emphasized. If there are no planets in Libra, it still has whatever house it's in, you will exert Libra influence in that house, even if there are no planets. So regarding the chart that we were just looking at, the girl who had Libra rising. So it would be her sense of self. And it would be all of these things: equilibrium, harmony, diplomacy, and the negative expression would be opportunism. She happened to have Saturn there, so that would modify it. It would add another element to it. If you have no planets there, you can look at the rulership chart. Let's say a trine Saturn. Yes, any planets that affect it will give you more clues. And let's say you don't have any planets in Libra, but your Libra is in the second house. All right. Let's say you don't have any planets there, but let's say second house. This is naturally ruled by Venus because Taurus is the ruler of second house. Venus rules the second house. So Venus is the ruling planet of the second house in this case, even though it's not there because it naturally rules Venus, is ruled by Venus. So it means that you have a natural way of looking at abundance. You have natural talent in manifestation that you can develop. You have power in that area, even if you have no planets there. So if you have Libra in the second house, it's very happy there because its planetary ruler Venus also rules the second house of values. So you just look at it. So in other words, don't think that you don't have, let's say, I'm not interested in Aries because I don't have Aries in my chart. Yes, you do. Everyone has Aries in your chart. Everyone has Taurus because it's a circle. And you have every sign of the zodiac is in your horoscope. It may not have a planet there. That doesn't mean it's not important. So look what house it's in, and that will give you a clue as to how it's working in your house. So Kim, I see it's in your sixth house, Kim B. So sixth house, you'll look at this chart, the house of work and health, the field of service. This is a natural place that this would be natural if you are to be a nurse or some person who cares for others. It's highly involved with health issue. So you're a good caregiver, you're a good healer. You understand healing energy and you understand how to mesh with people, how to meld with other people. Like a mind meld in Star Trek, you can do that for healing. So you generally, if you have Libra in the sixth house, you're a caring person, you're dedicated, you're a hard worker and practical, and you kind of care for animals. When I was a child, people would always bring me sick animals. If they'd find a little bird that fell out of a nest, it'd end up in my bedroom. This kind of thing. You're good at that. So service, responsibilities, taking care of people.
We've got another comment.
Yeah. Libra in the 12th house, Neptune in 12th. Okay, 12th house is hidden things. It's the field of psychic development. Now, so combining creativity and let's see if I can move this down to the 12th house. House of drawn shades, unseen causes. This is good for psychic ability. So you're having the eclipse in the 12th house. It shows in the highest aspect, it will show occultism. It's calling here spiritual development, intuition, psychic sensitivity are the positive aspects of that. It's the natural house of Pisces. So I don't really like karmic liabilities is also karmic pluses. So if you have psychic development from past lives, and in other lives you have been developing your intuition, this is karma. So any of that and hidden things. So sometimes there are things you need to bring out that you're not developing, or that you have hidden talents that you have been repressing, and it's time to bring those out. So the 12th house, it's time to bring out the things that you have not developed, your abilities and your talents. All of the people I know that are great mediums and psychic people all have a highly developed 12th house. So this comes in the category of the higher manifestation of a planetary influence. if you are a spiritually developed person, the 12th house is home for you. It's your psychic sensibilities, your intuition, your dream world. And if you are instead someone who is selfish and only interested in self-centered things, it will become your prison. You could be institutionalized.
I'm for that.
Yeah.
Give me meds and a bed.
Yeah.
Cynthia says she's got Jupiter and Uranus.
Jupiter
in
and Uranus.
12.
Well, you know, Jupiter is the wonderful positive things that you look at, you say in a horoscope, where things come easily to you. So you have a lot of power in the 12th house. With Uranus there, it means you're going to be expressing it in a very unusual way. Not the ordinary way of expressing it, something totally original. And it will lead to highs and lows, ups and downs in your feeling. You can be on an emotional roller coaster sometimes. So you need to balance that out and find really positive. I know you're a really positive person, Cynthia. So, but you can expect changes of energy, highs and lows with Jupiter and Uranus there, because Uranus is sudden changes. So it's a tidal force, highs, lows, it's not even keeled. And you are riding a bit of a roller coaster. Now, each of us in our life on Earth has chosen lessons, right? We're here on the school of planet Earth. Is like one of the hardest planets in the entire universe. And we're all here because we've accepted the challenge. We're here to watch the show, but please keep this in mind. You know the saying, we are not physical beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Now let's amplify that. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Normally, we think that in waking life, we're experiencing reality. When we go to sleep, we're dreaming, and that's something wild and not attached to reality. But it's just the opposite, really. We are living in spirit, and this earthly life is our dream. It's a weird idea,
Yes.
but that's real.
SR says she's got Libra in the 3rd house.
Libra in the 3rd house. So the 3rd house is the house of communication, environment, communication, brothers, sisters, relatives, neighbors, intellectual interests, early education, perception, and speech, books, magazines, and letters, publication, short journeys. This is the house that was ruled by Mercury. So you are a butterfly, social butterfly. You flit about, and you are very you love to communicate and travel, and communication is so important to you. So yes, that's
so she also said Uranus in something degrees Libra.
Uranus is in Libra, yes.
Okay.
If Uranus is in Libra, yes, it means that the eclipse has triggered some need for dramatic change in your life, because Uranus is the planet of unexpected change.
Well, this was a plateful of information.
Yeah, the beauty of astrology is it's an infinite study, as is our life. You know, it can accurately reflect your life because there are no limitations to it, how you can delve into things. So you want to start with it, looking at your ascendant, and look at those 4 keywords and analyze yourself and see what's going on. Think about that a little bit, and then think about where the house is that you have Libra. Where did the eclipse trigger you, and what are you needing to investigate and to develop? And any planets that are involved with those will be modifiers. If it's Saturn, you may be experiencing restriction. If it's Jupiter, it's happy, or the moon, you'll be emotionally happy. If it's Jupiter, you're getting a windfall, that kind of thing. With Mars, you might be experiencing some belligerence or aggressiveness with other people. So then you can be ready for it. So Deborah likes to say, forewarned is forearmed.
Forearmed.
This is a weather forecast.
Yeah.
In other words, astrology is a weather forecast stuff. For her, if the weatherman tells you it's a Category 4 hurricane is hitting you in tomorrow, board up your windows to get to higher ground, to take precaution. If you think, oh, it's just going to be a little thunderstorm, you carry an umbrella. If a drizzle, you can just walk outside, especially if you're here in Las Vegas, you'd be grateful. Oh, thank God. We got rain.
Yay.
Hooray. On that topic, looking at today's chart, you'll notice that all of this water stuff. Mars is in Cancer, water sign. Extreme, a lot of water. We can expect more rainfall and flooding. We have Pisces and Saturn. We have water everywhere. Moon in Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. Water, a lot of water. I put another thing I want to mention to you. This is energy for this month and the coming few months. Many planets are at the end degree. The moon today, 29 Scorpio. Pluto, 29 Capricorn, Neptune, 28 Pisces, and Uranus, the end of Taurus. Jupiter will be heading to the end of Gemini. What this means is it's transition big time, because when big planets are changing sign, everyone feels it. And we're going to have all the big outer planets changing sign, whammy, whammo, whammo. So it's going to be, this is the time of transition. Hasn't everyone been hearing that? Awakening. That's how you see it in astrology. The big planets change signs. It's an awakening. It's a beautiful opportunity. Humanity is going to transition into the most beautiful period we've ever had. It's something wonderful to look forward to. Plus, going into the age of Aquarius and all these eclipses, it's a major transformation. So if it feels a bit like you're on a bucking bronco, that's okay. Don't worry about it, because we're going to come out the other side and say, "Ooh, I'm so glad I was born to see this wonderful miracle." And we are going to witness the biggest change that humanity has ever seen. And you know what? In order for us to go through that, we have contrast. What do we mean by contrast? We're clear on the opposite of what we don't want. We're seeing what we don't want loud and clear. I don't vote for that. I don't want fear. I don't want hate. I don't want division. I don't want bigotry. I want love for anybody, kindness, healthcare for everybody, social, care for elderly people like me. I need help. 74, so I'm saying that, but life is going to be so much better for us, and it will take. It's not happening in a day, but it is happening now, and we will be seeing a wonderful change in November, and all the little details will need to be tended to, because it won't be all cleared up on election day. No, a few weeks for the dust to settle. And then we're moving into a fully new thing. I will print out for next time exactly when the big planets are changing signs, so that you can see a calendar of when each planet is going into the new area. There we go.
All right. Awesome. Oh, a very important statement here.
Oh.
People have been
Thank
commenting
you.
on your hair.
My hair. Oh my God.
I love
my
your
hair. I feel so bad about it. I thank you for that. Let me say, in person, it's kind of ratty looking, because I need a haircut.
Nothing a racehorse would notice, honey.
Oh.
I always say that. Do I look fat? Nothing a racehorse would notice.
Thank you, thank you. You made my day. Who said
Yay.
that? Who said that? I didn't.
Cynthia, of
Cynthia.
course.
I love you, Cynthia.
Uh,
Oh my
so
God.
I think that,
You know how to rub me the right way. I have
oh,
Venus
here it
on the
is.
ascendant.
SR was the one about cool hair. So I wanted to get those
SR.
out so I can get to the
Thank you.
questions. So
Okay.
it's interesting. I do have one about Ukraine, and I've been thinking about this. And that was so. Let me, for those who are lurking and not watching, CJ asked, now that the Ukraine has used American missiles, what does that mean for the war? They've always used American missiles, or it's been stamped, but it's now in Russia.
Sending them into the territory.
Right, so if they were just using them to shoot down Russian missiles, no problem. But let me just go and do a little bit of a throw.
While you're getting that reading, I will tell you that I've looked at Putin's chart, and he kind of parallels with 45. I don't think he's long. I don't think he's long standing in the future. Not for long. I think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be something homegrown that gets him, if you know what I mean.
So
his own home element is going to arrive at his doorstep, and that'll be the end of him.
Okay. So as far as the question goes, what will that mean for the war? I do see us with the Knight of Swords. That's like Biden, that's always thinking, but it's always moving, fast moving energy. So his thinking isn't staying inside his head, he's sharing it. I do have the Sun card, so I don't think anything's going to come of it. The other two cards are quite interesting because they're the reverse Three of Swords, meaning getting over the heartbreak that this is going the way it is. And then the reverse Seven of Swords, where basically, I believe America is going to be well defined, because here's the Six of Cups, which is the family card. Well, it's reversed. So I believe our country will become more defined. But I'm not seeing a big breakout, that a declaration of war, anything from U.S.
No, I don't think that Russia is in a position of power. They're in a position of extreme weakness right now.
Yeah, that's true. They don't have enough in their budget to take us on.
Their oligarchs have been stealing money from the military. That's why they're in such terrible shape. You know, there were all this group of wealthy people who were in charge of things, and they'd say, okay, we're going to spend 10 billion rupees on new tanks, and then they take 7 for themselves and put 3 into the kitty for the military. The rich people just stole the money that was supposed to go for their military.
Yeah.
And so it's not. So the war, I think that's basically how it's going to go, downhill for Russia.
Maria, you just got my book yesterday.
Maria,
thank you.
I'm jealous.
I gotta send you a book, Lalit. Oh my God, I keep forgetting. Let's see. Thank you so much for supporting my dreams.
Debra, I have so much to learn for you about tarot cards, and it's so I'm really anxious to do it, because I've been fooling around with it all my life, and I want to get more serious about it.
I'm going to share something, because people have joined, and I teach people who have joined my channel. But just yesterday, or the last session, one of my students says at the end, I don't feel comfortable with this certain spread. I just kind of want to lay the cards down and read what I feel it to be. And I thought, you've arrived. You have arrived, because that's one of the things that, and I'm not, people like to read with just their intuition, that can be limiting, because you need to know what each card means in general for you to do that. But I'm teaching how you can just, because it was the same student was saying, can you teach us new spreads? And I said, no, let's create our own spreads. And one of my students, she's going to do a book of spreads, I think. So anyway, I'm very, very, very excited about it. So
can I make a comment on that? I love to do a spread for the 12 houses.
Oh, yes.
And that relates to, you can relate that to your horoscope and get further clarification for your horoscope and each of the areas of your life. So if the person is asking a question of finances, you look at the 2nd house or the 8th house for other people's money, that axis.
That's pretty cool.
And it's very, so I was developing a little cloth that has the rays of the horoscopes to put the cards out.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
So
that's why that's why I keep teaching. I don't just give a reading, I teach. What does October hold for me? Joyful journey. Oh, and then she said it again with better spelling. I knew what you meant.
Well, while you're getting that out, may I address 2 people that wrote to me regarding readings? They are Rose and also SR. I think both of you have asked me about readings. And
no, it was for the handout, I think.
Oh, well, they did. They did ask me about me. Rose and SR had sent me an email that I looked at before. And I didn't answer them yet, so I'm answering you now. I do have time for readings this week, so let me know. Shoot me a schedule that would work for you, and we can work something out for this week if you want.
So, joyful. You're going to give up something, and it's going to feel great. This is the Death card. It's going to say, it's almost like things, something just kind of ends and you went, oh, good, that's over. Right? And so that's happening, and it's going to lift your burden. 10 of Wands upright is taking on too much work, the burden of another, and it's reversed. So that's going to, it's almost like that, where I'm not going to feel. So what I'm getting here is that you feel in obligation to serve others in a certain way, because in your imagination, you've led them to believe that you'll always be there for that topic or something like that. So it's coming in. And it's that kind of stuff you're going to let go of. It doesn't matter what people think. If you're not interested in helping them with the party, it's time for you to say that. It's time for you to say that. Now, I do have a couple of cards that came in reverse, the Emperor and the Fool card. So this is almost like a little bit of a caution. If you don't let go of people, your assumption of obligation to another, then you're not going to be doing anything with a full heart. And that's when Emperor goes upside down, which is traditional corporations and work, dealing with insurance companies and things like that. And then the Fool, there's a blessing coming around, but you're not in sync with it. You've got to be the magnet for it. And it does also show that there is a bit of an obsession, compulsion kind of thing about this service that you're doing. Now, this may not make any sense right this minute, but put it in your pocket and see if it doesn't manifest the very first time you get a phone call from a friend who needs help. And then you'll have another opportunity to choose different. But October looks pretty good because I see you finding your voice. SR. What will happen next week for me? MP, no messages yet from him. When will we see each other? Is he missing us now? Let me check here. I'm checking to see. The first question, will I see him or hear from him? The answer is no for next week. He's really, really quite busy, but that's not an excuse. I see him leaning towards traditional family stuff, and I think his father is influencing him right now. Now I'm going to say, is he missing you? Yeah, he misses the tenderness. He misses the communication. He doesn't feel he's good at that communication, which is probably true. But he is withholding messages of love. This is a challenging time. So I'm hoping the energies will shift and change for you, but it doesn't look like things are going to go in the direction you want to for next week. And I'm sorry about that. Nothing's set in stone, and I'm only 92% accurate. There's still 8% where I can be. I'm not accurate every time. Okay, Rose. Let me see. Let me get cleared out here. Kim, did I miss you? No, I didn't. I think I got you. Okay. Rose, do you see Trump getting worse mentally before or after November 5th?
Before.
Yeah.
Before at his chart, I'll tell you, if you remember that we have the ascendant as being the first focal point of your chart and the second being the midheaven, and that's the career. Reputation is the key word. You know, he's all focused on how people see him. He doesn't care about anything else. How do people see him? What's his image? That's it. And Uranus is up there. It is not a gradual. It is something, boom. It's going to be a catastrophic fall from grace and a disaster, big time change, and not gradual, but very sudden.
So it's interesting with the cards I got, because the very first one is the moon. And that means hidden things, right?
Things.
It's
deception. He's the con man. That's the con man sign,
it's
right?
like the cold side of the moon type of thing, which is quite interesting because he likes to be secret. He thinks he's so secret. But I also have the hangman reversed, saying that he's just focused, just like what Lalit said. I also have the chariot reversed, meaning that he's not able to get everybody in the town pointed in the same direction. He's lost that control. He is also taking stock in his finances. I think they're in jeopardy.
Oh boy, big time.
So also another one is that I have a page of wands reversed, meaning that he's acting childish, and he is acting, excuse me, my mic, my earbuds. He's acting before he thinks. Now, I know that sounds funny. Of course, he does that, but he is going to get worse about that. And so,
you know what I see? I'd like to share this with everybody. I've never mentioned it to anyone. Every time I focus on what's happening with him, I get the same image, and it's strange, but I think this. Do you guys remember when he was in the hospital for COVID?
I remember.
He was at Walter Reed, and he would give a little talk to the cameras, and he had a big, like a conference table, like a big mahogany kind of table in this room, and he would give the talk from there. But it was a hospital, but it had he had a presidential suite in the Walter Reed Hospital, and I see him in a place like that where he's, you know, like when
he can
Nixon,
play.
You remember when Nixon was being kicked out? Apparently, he was drinking really heavily, and he would get Henry Kissinger would come in, and he would go. Nixon would say, "I am the president. I am the president." I see him like
That's right.
at the boardroom. It's like the Apprentice boardroom in miniature. You know, he has a boardroom table, and he's sitting there all by himself saying, "I am the president. I am the president." I get that. I think he's going to be in a place like that.
Where he can have his
And where
Yeah.
he's safe, he's secure on a military base. I just get that picture of him sitting in that conference room at that table with some aspect of glory. You know, he can look around and say, yes, I am the president. And
Isn't that interesting that
that's what I see.
that Judge Chuckin released all that information?
He got what he put out. He asked for it. He put it off,
Yes,
put
he
it
did.
off, put it off.
Yeah, he put it off, put it
Created
off.
it. He created that all by himself.
It's our October surprise, that's for sure. And thank you for that question. I like that. So Liz and Austria, you're so international.
Salzburg. I'm the biggest Mozart fan. I love Salzburg. My son is named Amadeo. Give you a clue. Did I tell you, Deborah? He's got a fracture in his neck. Did I tell you he had?
No.
Yeah. I mentioned about the chair I brought in for because he was having so much pain. He finally got the X-rays, and he has a little fracture in his neck. So if everybody would pray for my son Amadeo a little bit, I think he'll be able to avoid surgery with a little of your prayers. He'll heal. Wow.
I'm just doing your numbers really quick, Liz. Hold on. And I'm not doing them fast today. Checking my work. Oh, you're having a one personal year in 2024. So you're looking at things a bit differently. And one personal years are a little easier for you because you're a 5 life path. So you can get freaked out about missing the train, but for the most part, you can switch gears pretty fast, pretty easy. You just hate to be stuck in obligation. And as long as you know there's nothing broken in you, when you feel that way, it's not because you're not spiritual enough, but it's the way you're built. You're not supposed to be in obligation all the time. Some 2 life paths, that's their lifeblood, is to be in communication with people and nurturing, and that, not a 5. 5 is, let me get to the other side of the world and see what that's about. And
I have not done your chart, Liz. If you want one, this is where you get it. And now, this is a free chart. It's not like a reading. It's a little ebook. It just has basic information. It's not like a reading, but it's full of information. So,
and she'll know where her Libra is.
Yeah. Well, being born in that degree, Venus and Mercury are generally very close to this, are always close to the sun. So there's a good chance you have Venus or Mercury in Libra. Good chance of it. Anyway,
cool. You're very good at that. Yeah, astrology vibrations, plural.
With an S, yeah.
With an S.
Astrology vibrations at gmail.com, and I'll send it to you.
I've got 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords, rest after a long battle with the opportunities of the Empress coming through. Strength, grace under pressure. Not that you have to have pressure. It's just that we're just noticing that. I do have the reverse 5 of Wands. So you're over the bickering. I wonder if, yes, I think maybe you're going to be, this is the gossip card. The 5 of Wands is all gossip, picky, the stuff that will erode a relationship, a friendship, that type of thing. It's coming in reversed along with the reverse 7 of Swords. You know what I think? I think you are going to be witness to someone being a bully. And I think you're going to call them out. Either that, let's say you're at work or you're in a group and then there's all this cattiness happening. And I think you're going to speak out and say, that hasn't been my experience with that person. I think they're very nice. I think you're going to find your voice that way. Hope that helps. Birthday. 117. Oh, and
7.
Thank you so much. I don't know. I'm going without my glasses today. So anything can happen. Yeah. You're having a 7 personal year, just like me. So it's your intuition. It's being close with spirit. That's really important. Everything you've created this year can be manifested next. So it's like you had this dream. Like, for instance, I wasn't going to write another book, of course, but people were saying I need a numerology book, and I just found myself writing it. And so next year I'll be able to bring it into fruition. But I've got some lovely cards for you. Walking away from stuff that just doesn't work for you anymore. You're interested in being a hermit, close to spirit. Now this hermit came in reverse, telling me that you're going through the motions. You're in obligation or unspoken obligations kind of thing. So, but you are temperance. Temperance is a beautiful card that says that you're staying out of the fray. You're staying in the middle lane. You're not getting into anybody's business, but the hermit is calling you back into the cave. So maybe some quiet study will serve you well this next week. Let me just check here and see what I've got going.
Thank you to everyone who's sending love and prayers for my son. Thank you, Cynthia, and the people and Annie and Liz. Thank you very much for your prayers. And I know that's going to do it. It's going to really help him. He's going to heal with your help. And I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Prayers, Amadeo. This is interesting. My brother decided to distance after he tried to throw a punch. He is a millionaire and held the strings in the family. Yeah, everything's coming to a head, right? People you've known all your life, all of a sudden are cracking. And I'm not saying I'm not cracking. There's things I can go through and I don't recognize myself in.
It's a time of choice. It's the line in the sand, the Spartacus minute. Here you are. You have to be on one side of the line.
Kim, I thought we got you. I'm just going to. I'm sorry if I didn't catch you. Hey, I do have some news for you, Kim. Ace of Wands, new action.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, because it's not only just having an idea, it's like having the momentum to go and start it and then finish it. I love the Ace of Wands. You're going to balance out your finances, or Pentacles, finances, but anything tangible is a pentacle. So like a love relationship starts out in cups with all this feeling, but then it transitions into the pentacle family because it becomes a thing.
Yeah, second half is what you value, your abundance, what's important to you.
Right. We've got some wonderful love energy coming in from, I believe this is one of your guides. This is the Queen of Cups. So I would encourage you, please. She's saying she's proud of you. Isn't that interesting? Now, she came in upright, so she's not a deceased loved one. I believe it's a guide from yours. And so I'm being told, would you go online and just key in what does the Queen of Cups mean in the tarot and just kind of read that, because that's the message. I think the energy signature of that is what you move into to call forth that guide. So that could help.
Do you think of that as the Princess Diana type energy, or not?
I don't. I think she tried to be. Isn't that awful for me to say? I think she really tried to be. But when you try to be someone you're not, it just doesn't work out. So when you see people who are that miserable, that means they're not in alignment with who they are. So You can feel the energy of things cracking with all the political stuff, entertainment people, storms, lots of people. And you know what? I got to tell you, it's been different. Change is hard for people, but if you just it's hard to do. Stay the perspective of saying, well, this might be interesting. This might be interesting.
You got to write it because it's a wave that's here. You know, you're get on your board and start paddling.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, it's come to an end. I'm sorry I started late, and I think I'm finishing just right on time. But you all mean the world to us. Thank you so much for coming on Fridays.
Thank you.
Email her for either the packet of the free information so you can follow along each week, and she'll add the one she's shared tonight. So I love it. I just love it. So until next Friday, not tomorrow, but Sunday, I have Kaylee that at 11 o'clock Pacific. Kaylee's going to be here channeling the Holy Spirit. Magical things happen during her time reading you. And then even on replays, I've heard there's some blessings in the replay. It's pretty magical. So stop in. I would love it. I would just love it. Thank you so much. And see you next Friday and maybe Sunday. Love you.
Have